Dímelo, mi gente, que loca. I'm in North Beach, Miami, over on the Tatum Bridge, the Tatum Waterway. Beautiful day in Miami. Gorgeous. Just walking Aries. Just walking Aries right now. No, you guys can see him. There he is. Yeah, so I'm just walking Aries. Got out of work early. Gotta go bring my neighbor to the airport, so that's fun. But I just wanted to do a quick video about what would you do if your family history was historic, right? So when I was a kid, I'm actually gonna kick it right here. So when I was a kid, right, it was very interesting, right? A very interesting childhood. So one of the things that I noticed when I was a kid is that all four of my grandparents spoke English. So all four of my grandparents spoke English. We all had English last names. So like me, obviously, my parents, my cousins, right? Everybody had English last names, and we were not Catholic. Also, like, so the Dominican Republic is a very Catholic country, but we were not Catholic. We were Protestant. So those things were really weird. Like they didn't really make a lot of sense when I was a kid, especially growing up with other Dominican kids who, who had Spanish last names. Their parents, like their grandparents, obviously didn't know English, didn't speak English, but mine did. So I just thought that was like really weird. So life went on, whatever. I went to Dominican Republic in 2004. 2005, January 2005, I went to Samaná with my grandfather, and that was the last time I went. So I went to DR in 2005, and I did not go back until July of 2023. So life happened, school, jobs, all that stuff, right? Um, so 2023 in July, I went to the capital. I took a tour of the Zona Colonial, all that. Hice todo eso. Really learn Dominican history, like really learn like all about it. Took all the tours, all that. Um, and then and then what happened next? Oh yeah. So I could not figure out like the the Dominican Republic, the DR tour in the capital. It was dope. It was really it was really important. If you're Dominican, you should go do that. But the thing is, it didn't tell me anything about my family history. It didn't tell me anything about me personally. And that was one of the things that I kind of thought about that. But it was fun. So I went to Samaná. I ended up seeing my grandmother for the first time in like 18 years, which was really cool. So I talked to her, and she gave me a little bit of the breakdown of the family history, which was really cool. Which was really cool. So like she told me about like the migration, the 1824 migration of free African Americans from the United States to Samana. And that was really dope. That was really dope because I was able to put the Dominican Republic history and then my personal family history together, and it was really really cool. So I came back to the United States, did some research, and it was just awesome just seeing like all the names, seeing all the names like Green, Furchu, Kelly, Barrett, just seeing all the names and all the records. Like it was really dope. But my grandmother actually ended up passing away, like literally like 4 weeks after that, right? Like she actually ended up passing away. It was super sad. It was crazy because it almost felt like she was kind of waiting for me. It almost felt like she was waiting for me to go back to DR to tell me this before she passed away. So like I was, it was really emotional. I ended up going to the funeral with my dad. That was like September 23. And I just found like a bunch of old pictures and stuff from like the early 1900s. A lot of stuff that had just like my grandparents' names in English, a lot of stuff written down in English. And this is Samana 2023. So like all that, like my mind was blown. It was my mind was blown. So fast forward to February of 2024, I ended up going back to the Dominican Republic. So I stayed in Las Terrenas. I went over there. I was there for like a week. Rented a moped. It was dope. It was dope. I rented a moped. I was just going through the whole entire peninsula, like from Las Terrenas all the way through like Tesson, Los Cacao, El Rincon, todo eso. I did all that. Like I was just taking pictures, talking to people. It was dope. It was dope. Like you'd go through, You would see like all the shops like Olmado Green, Ferreteria Smith, all that. Like you like all the way from Las Tejenas to Sanchez to Samaná to La Galeras. You'll see like all kinds of stores from just from the people that descended from these free African Americans. So it was really cool to do that. It was really, really dope. So I was out there for like a week. I wasn't even trying to like, obviously at this time I wasn't writing anything. I was just learning about my family history. So I came back to Connecticut. It was dope. Like, have a better understanding of what's going on, like all the stuff that happened when I was a kid with my grandparents speaking English, the last names. Like I was able to finally make sense of it, right? So that was cool. That was good. So I ended up going back to Las Arenas in November of 2024. I was out there for a week again. Awesome time. Like I went out there. I was doing my thing. It was amazing, amazing trip. Mind you, it was November, and I live in Connecticut at this time, right? So I went out there the day that I got back, right? I came back to JFK, and the day that I got back, it started snowing. And I don't remember telling myself this, but my body definitely told me like my decision was already made up. Like I was leaving. I was leaving Connecticut. There's no way that there's just no way that I was gonna stay there. So I ended up moving. I ended up moving to Miami, like literally like a month later. Like I moved down here to Miami, and it was dope. That was one of the best decisions I ever made. Fast forward to May of 2005, and that's when I started writing my novel. Um, so that's kind of my story. So like that's kind of the story of why of how I started to write the story. I didn't grow up knowing this family history, and it's just like really important to me that this story doesn't get lost, and that the next person that needs to know this history, that information is available to them. Because once I found out my family history, it definitely changed my life. So yeah, so that's the question that I have for you guys. Like, what would you do if your family history was your story? Because for me, I wrote a book, and that's it. That's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. Let's talk about it. We'll talk on. We'll catch. I'll catch you on the next one.